This is Filter Media Africa, and I'm Jabali, Udawa and Adawa. There is an adage that stipulates health is the greatest wealth. And here at Filter Media Africa, we are passionate about the well-being of your health. This leads to our dissection of a certain condition known as rheumatic fever. Rheumatic fever is a condition characterized by inflammation or swelling that might randomly or holistically affect the joints, heart, skin, and the brain of the human body. It usually emerges as a complication of a throat infection known as strep throat or scarlet fever that is caused by a certain type of bacterium known as group A Streptococcus. Rheumatic fever normally develops as a result of lack of treatment or under-treatment of the throat infection by the group A Streptococcus bacterium. On average, rheumatic fever develops 2 to 4 weeks after the strep throat infection. The group A Streptococcus bacterium that causes rheumatic fever has a certain protein in it that is similar to another one found in the human body tissues. This will result in disruption of function, or in other words, confusion in some cells found within the human body that are normally known as antibodies that normally protect us against infectious or injurious processes. This will ultimately lead to a certain condition known as autoimmunity. Autoimmunity will then make the human antibodies to start fighting or destroying the human normal cells by error as they fight the group A Streptococcus bacterium. Without prompt medical intervention, various organs might end up damaged. Some of the symptoms that might manifest in rheumatic fever includes fever, fatigue, joint pain, swollen tender joints, and chest pain. In addition, there is a feature that might develop known as Sydenham chorea, where the patient presents with uncoordinated body movements and emotional outbursts. This will happen when the brain is involved. Risk factors for rheumatic fever includes untreated or undertreated group A Streptococcus bacterium infection, poor sanitation, being in overcrowded areas, hereditary. Some families have people who have inheritable genes that highly predisposes them to develop rheumatic fever when infected with the group A Streptococcus bacterium. Diagnosis is normally made by taking the patient's history and conducting a physical exam on them, taking a throat swab from the patient for the Streptococcus test, blood sample for Streptococcus antistaphylococcus or titers, ECG electrocardiogram to assess the electrical activity of the heart, echocardiogram to determine the heart's structural state and or damage. Treatment is normally determined by the extent of the patient's condition and organs involved, damage extent. The disease burden will determine the employment of the medical intervention or even a combination of medical and surgical interventions. Folks, if you aren't subscribed to our YouTube channel, Filter Media Africa, I beseech you to show us some love by subscribing. Then hit on the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload content. Thank you.